This video is going over players that I believe will have bounce back seasons in 2024, starting off with Anthony Duclair. In the 2022 season, Anthony Duclair had a career year where in 74 games he put up 58 points, 31 of which being goals, and was one of the top goal scorers on a Florida Panthers team that won the President's Trophy. But due to a torn Achilles he sustained during the offseason, he would only play 20 games in the 2023 season, in which he put up 9 points, and in the playoffs he put up 11 points during their finals run. But now that he's gotten some games under his belt after the injury, in addition to an entire offseason to train, I think he can have a real bounce back year in 2024, especially now that he plays for the Sharks, and somebody's gotta score goals for them. Now, will his goal totals reach the 30s again? Possibly, but around the mid-20s or so I think is definitely possible. The next bounce back player on my list is Cole Sillinger. After being selected 12th overall in the 2021 draft, Cole Sillinger immediately made his debut in the 2021-22 season, in which he had a pretty solid rookie season, putting up 16 goals and 15 assists in 79 games, and surprisingly didn't get a single Calder vote, like not even a single 5th place vote. But whatever. But instead of building off that rookie season, Cole Sillinger's 2023 left a lot to be desired. In 64 games, he only put up 3 goals and 8 assists. But given that he's only 20 years old going into his 3rd season, he still has a lot of room to grow, and I have no doubt that next season for him will be much better, as I'm sure will also be the case for Jonathan Huberdeau. In 2022, Huberdeau had a ridiculous season, scoring 115 points in 80 games, and that offseason was traded to the Calgary Flames in exchange for Matthew Tkachuk, and in his first season with the Flames, his production fell off heavily, going from 115 points in 80 games to 55 points in 79 games. A record-setting 60-point drop-off. Even if you chalk up the 115-point season as a fluke, he was still over a point per game the last 4 seasons. But I think next season could be different. Now, I'm not saying he's going to put up 100 plus points again, but he can definitely get up to the point per game range, especially under a new head coach with a different system. And if he doesn't, then the trade will age terribly along with the subsequent contract, which would also be the case for Jack Campbell if he is unable to bounce back next season. Jack Campbell solidified himself as the starting goalie for the Leafs in the 2021 season due to Freddie Andersen's injury troubles, and was a reliable starting goalie in the 2022 season as well, and that landed him a 5-year $25 million deal with the Edmonton Oilers. And in his first year with Edmonton, to say he struggled is an understatement. An .888 save percentage and a .341 goals against average in 36 games, losing the starting spot to Stuart Skinner. However, in the few playoff games he played, he did extremely well, showing he can still be a reliable goalie. And with how good Stuart Skinner is and could project to be, all Jack Campbell really needs to be is an average goalie at least, which I think he can definitely be next season. Obviously, you don't pay $5 million to a goalie to be average, but after last season, you'll take it. The next bounce back candidate I have is Philip Grubauer. The first video on this channel is about bounce back players for the 2022 season, in which I had Philip Grubauer as one of them. He went from being a Vezina nominee in the 2021 season to being one of the worst goalies in the league in the 2022 season. And in 2023, he didn't really have a bounce back, having slightly better stats in less games played. But I'm gonna pick him as a bounce back candidate again for the 2nd year in a row, because in the playoffs, he showed that he can still be a really good goalie, putting up a .926 save percentage in the first round to upset the defending champion Colorado Avalanche. Now in the second round, he was pretty awful, but that series still went to 7 games. That's the thing with the Seattle Kraken. They don't really need great goaltending to be a great team. They put up a 100-point season despite having sub-900 goaltending the entire season. So as was the case with Jack Campbell, Philip Grubauer only really needs to be about average, and I think he's gonna be able to do that. The last bounce back candidate I have is Sean Couturier. Sean Couturier's last NHL game was in December of 2021, where a back surgery would require him to miss the remainder of the season, and the optimism of him coming back to start the 2023 season was also stripped away. As it turned out, he required a second back surgery and missed the entirety of the 2023 season as well. Sean Couturier has missed over 1.5 seasons, but from the sound of things, it looks like he will be at the start of training camp. so hopefully he's available for the Flyers opening night roster, or at some point in the season. And while there really is no telling how he's going to play, given the amount of time he's missed, and it isn't really fair to expect him to immediately start playing like he was a couple of seasons ago, if ever, but him being able to overcome 2 back surgeries and return to the NHL would be a bounce back in and of itself, and I hope that he's able to do it. And those are my picks for players that I think will bounce back in the 2024 season. If you disagree or have other players you think will bounce back, let me know. If you enjoyed the video, leave it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. And thanks for watching.